Hello and welcome to Sabbath on the Land. I'm Pastor Abby Johnson, and this series explores the relationship between earth, faith, and Sabbath. Today I am here in the beautiful Platt Farm Preserve, where I'm joined with my guest, Father Bob. It's so good to have you here today.
Thanks, Pastor Abby. It's great to be with you today.
Thanks. Could you introduce yourself and also maybe tell us in that introduction one of your favorite places to be outside?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, I'm Father Bob Kwiatkowski. I am the pastor of the newly formed parish of it's called the Roman Catholic Parish of Middlebury and Southbury, which contains two churches, Sacred Heart Church in Southbury and St. John of the Cross in Middlebury. Okay. So I've been there since January 5th, so just a little over 2 months.
Well, welcome.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. It really is. So one of my favorite places is in Southbury. It's called Southford Falls. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it yet.
I am.
Well, it's an interesting thing for me because over the years, whenever I felt, like a dark night of the soul kind of thing, kind of distant from God and wanting to reconnect for whatever reason, I would always drive, no matter where I was in Connecticut, to Southford Falls. And I would go just down below the falls. There was this big rock there that I would sit on, cross my legs. When I was younger, I could do that. Cross my legs and just wait. And in no time, I would feel and experience the presence of Jesus once again. And I was renewed just sitting there, hearing the fall, the water coming down, the beauty of the trees all around. And I would just reconnect. And even though anywhere else I was trying to reconnect, it didn't seem to work, there is the place. That's my go-to place. For I haven't had to do it in a long time, but it's still there. Okay. And if I ever need it, I'm going to that rock.
Oh man, a good spot to know about. Thank you.
Yeah,
As I'm new too, these are things to know.
You can't miss the rock.
Perfect. Well, in this series, we're looking at the relationship between faith and earth and Sabbath, and I'm curious how you understand that unique relationship in the world.
Well, okay, so for Roman Catholics, our Sabbath is celebrating Mass, worshiping God on Saturday nights or Sundays, and it's very important to us. It's a great place for us to connect with our own community of faith, and quite often, the earth is part of that for us too in many different ways. We're kind of earthy. We love things like candles and incense and Eucharist and bread and wine and earthy things. So we do connect with the Lord in that way and worship Him that way. So there's that part of Sabbath that we love and enjoy, and it's one of the commandments of God, the third commandment, to keep holy the Sabbath. So that's the main way we do it. The Sabbath to me is bigger than that as well. So it means also rest. So one of the things that I try to do at Mass is help people to rest a little bit, to not to do anything too controversial or anything, but it's a time to be away from the world and to be in connection with God and one another. So that's what I try to do. But even beyond that, I go on a retreat every year up to Gloucester, Massachusetts. It's right on the ocean, right?
Yeah,
on the
my
Atlantic
hometown.
Ocean.
I know it well.
Gloucester? Oh my God, do you know Eastern Point Retreat House?
I do.
I've been going there for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm due to go back in August. I didn't know that was
You're
your
more
hometown.
of a local than I am then. I haven't had 40 years there, so.
I hope not. You don't look at it. So that's where I go every year for a 7 or 8 day silent retreat. With nature everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Water always speaks to me, just of God's presence, His mighty power, His gentleness as well, and the calmness of water sometimes, just anything. And then, the seagulls and the birds and all those things just move me.
Yeah.
I also have a place that I go. I have a condo in Milford, Connecticut, on the water. I was blessed to get that. My 520 square feet of heaven on earth. And it's right on the water, and I just rejuvenate there one night a week with right there looking at the beautiful water and the seagulls, and it's just great for me. It does renew me in every way.
Yeah. sounds like you've really built Sabbath kind of into these regular practices, whether it's the one night a week that you're in Milford or a retreat that you attend. And I love how you also bring up the idea that some of these natural elements or parts of earth make their way into our worship services and take part as the wine and the bread and the lights and the candles and these different parts of earthy bits kind of find their way into our worship already.
It is all there.
Yeah.
It really is. Sometimes even a dirty floor.
That's true. That's true.
Not too often.
Is there a story either in your personal life or in your faith tradition that really resonates for you when you think about this idea of a connection between faith and environment and Sabbath?
Well, sure. Pope Francis wrote an encyclical not too long ago called Laudato Si, which means basically it's all about our mutual care of the earth, a care of our home. And it's all about global warming and things like that. So the story I have is not the greatest story, I don't think, it's not the nicest one, but every once in a while after that came out, some people would be upset with the Pope for writing something like that. And they would say things like, well, wait a minute, what does the Pope know about global warming? Why does he think he has a right to speak about it, is more what they say. And I just point them to Genesis. God created the heavens and the earth, and he put it under our care, right in Genesis. Of course he has a right to say it, and must say it, and so must all of us. Take care of the earth.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I've read that work by the Pope, and it is really powerful. No matter what tradition you come from, what background you have, he speaks really eloquently and really poignantly to that.
Yeah, he wrote it for the whole world.
Yeah, which is quite the audience to write to, but he did a wonderful job. Yeah, so maybe you will explore it. Go out and find it at your library or online or something. It's one to read. And I'm curious, with this idea of the Pope kind of being a leader in this, what would you say, why is environment important to us as people of God? Maybe not as the Pope writing an encyclical, but as people of a congregation or people in kind of their normal lives?
Well, life is very important to all of us. And, environment, pollution, and all those things could be hampering our life and our future. So, and we want to continue to worship God as long as we can, but we need a good earth to do that. We have a responsibility for taking care of it, and that really is part of our upbringing and faith as well. It's all comes together there. We have to.
Yeah, a beautiful gift is also a big responsibility.
That's correct.
Well, thank you so much for being with me today, Father Bob. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with you and to be here at the Platt Farm Preserve on this somewhat kind of chilly March day. We're a little cold, so we're going to get off and find somewhere a little more warm. But a pleasure to be with you all. Go out and enjoy these beautiful spaces in your own backyard, and may the peace of God fill you like fresh air outside. Peace be with you. Amen.
Amen.